Yeah.
And then we just kind of I feel like we each get this kind of push to reach out every couple of months or just like, oh, it's time to I feel like, oh, it's time to check in with Elena. I'm gonna have a chat. I think I need to, yeah, I just get this little nudge of like, oh, I really feel like I need to connect.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So do I. And then we speak, and we've all often had similar feelings or experiences, and it
Right.
feels just very reassuring, doesn't it? Well, it does to me anyway. It feels very reassuring. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think in like layman's terms, connecting with you helps me feel less crazy and insane.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah. And
Like I
that's why we
think,
wanted to record this, right? Because we feel like at the end of those conversations of things that sometimes you wouldn't feel comfortable talking to people about, or yeah, think you might be crazy for saying, but we feel so reassured and then felt like maybe it's nice to record these conversations because maybe there's lots of people who are feeling the same and feeling isolated, because it can feel isolating, can't it, on this path sometimes. And yeah, I just feel it's good, like the more we talk about these things, I think it's helpful to bring them to make them not crazy, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah, I think we share a common resonance or alignment in that we have these very powerful experiences in the world that aren't like the normal cultural that aren't just like considered normal experiences or normal parts of experience, and we are like having these incredible experiences inside of ourselves and connecting to different points on the land and with other people and through time and space, and they just feel outside of um what what I'm able to just like be chatting with my neighbor about while my kids are playing. Like
Yeah.
it feels like bigger than that, but very true and very present. And I definitely feel really isolated by that a lot of times of like, is this just me? And can I trust this? And is this real? And is this true? And does this mean like it feels really meaningful and it feels really true and alive, maybe the most meaningful and the most true and alive that anything does in my life. And but then I get lost in the kind of like, can I trust it? And is it okay? And is this too crazy to talk about? And sometimes I say things out loud to people who haven't had similar experiences, and they do kind of look at you sideways and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, is there maybe like a medication you should be on?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Very, yeah.
But when I share them with you, I feel like we both just can dive into the wildness of the truth of our experiences. And I feel so um, reassured. And I feel like talking to you helps me to rebuild my self-trust, which has been really eroded through trauma in this lifetime and I would say other lifetimes too. And so I feel like I'm through connecting with you and getting to chat, I feel like I'm rebuilding and reorienting my sense of self-trust of like, oh, I can trust my experience. I can trust what feels true to me. And I think that's like is a reclaiming of that through connection with you.
Yeah, that's really beautifully said. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how I feel too. Yeah, the self-trust. Yeah, because every time when you get that look or the you need medication look, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a look, then like that's when the doubt creeps in and oh, I'm just crazy, I'm mad. And then yeah, it's kind of to yeah, have a space to share experiences and yeah, it validates it and helps me to develop my own trust. And then the more you trust, the more, yeah, well, also the more like embodied I can feel, the more I'm trusting in
Mhm.
it, and the more yeah, the more the miracles come as well. It's like, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I feel it's
Like the more that we can hold and stabilize those frequencies, and the more we're able to then open up to it and receive. And I think something that we both got excited about or feel is true is that, well, then it must not just be us. There must be other, I mean, first I think of women, other women out there, but there must be all kinds of bodies and people out there who are also going through the same thing and feeling like in need of some reassurance in this time of awakening.
Yeah,
And so we thought,
absolutely.
well, what if we recorded our conversations and put it out into the wide world and saw if anybody found their way to it that needed it? Does
Yeah.
that feel true? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And it feels a little bit, but I think, yeah, this is the first time we've done it. But yeah, I feel that it is important. I do feel that it's really important to, yeah, just keep talking more and more. Yeah. And I also think the other side of it as well, isn't it, that we're often feeling like we're juggling these two two worlds almost, and there's that world
Yes.
of things that we can't talk about, and then the very earthly life that we're living, and sometimes that feels like a hard job to have, doesn't it? And so that feels nice to just be able to, yeah, just talk about those sorts of things as well, and how hard it is to live between the two worlds sometimes.
Yeah, and I think another commonality that is really helpful for me with you is that we're both mothers and we both have these kids who are still like at home and we have, our kids are different ages, but this feeling of being and exploring kind of this spiritual world and this energetic world, but then also having like these very intense, extreme demands on us in the 3D world to be able to function and provide for, and we're being called that, like we're feeling this call to change up our lives and leave our jobs and follow this calling, this very very strong calling. And at the same time there's these questions of like, well, how am I going to pay my bills and how do I like provide for my children and how do I mother at the same time that I'm completely being cracked open and pulled
Yeah,
apart and losing all of my identity to regain a new sense of like all this intensity is happening at the same time that we have to like get up in the middle of the night with a child that's had nightmares and strip the bed again because they've peed again and get up in the morning after not having slept and make lunches and sign up for
yeah.
swim lessons and not forget and like just the intensity of mothering.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And mine being older, I don't have to get up in the night so much and things, but often it's like how it still, this all affects them and how, yeah,
Right,
me going
right.
through all that and me changing so much as well is like such a big thing for them too. And yeah, guilt, I suppose, and being able to be strong to support them while also following what I know I need to do. Yeah, it's challenging, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel this challenge of like I need space to be able to break down when I'm going through this stuff, but I in the breakdown still have to be able to function, which seems like an impossibility. But then at the same time I find that they that mothering helps me. It also somehow like the 3D world helps pull me through the journey as well because it's like, okay, I think maybe I'm dying. Like maybe I'll just lie in bed and just let this process just totally disintegrate me and maybe I will die today. And then it's like I can't. I have to get up and like take my kids to school. Like
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah.
that there's been many moments for me when my kids are the reason why I've pulled through something
Yeah. I
that I
absolutely feel that.
don't know
Yeah.
that I can get through. Do you find the same?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was looking back the other day and thinking, I sometimes look at my life and think, how does this all happen? And when I had like this very sudden awakening, and I suddenly I thought I was suddenly gone mentally ill, psychosis, and as you know, um, and but I had my kids and I was a single mom and we had just left an abusive relationship. And I just look back thinking, how did that happen? Why did that all have to happen to me? And how did I even manage it? And but looking back in hindsight now, I don't think I would have got it if it wasn't for I wouldn't have got through it if it wasn't for my kids, because I had to be grounded and I had to be solid, and it's like an anchor as well, maybe. Yeah, so yeah, I do feel that, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, yeah.
It totally does. Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, we all came to support each other in different ways, didn't we? Even, yeah, in the family relationships and everything. And yeah,
And then I mean, my next go-to in my mind is just like, oh, the intense kind of guilt and worry and things that I feel when I'm going through all this, and my kids have to experience me going through it, and then like I feel a lot of challenging feelings about that and feeling like I'm letting them down or I'm not stable enough for them or all these things, and then when I'm feeling stable and my most expansive, I have this knowing that they chose to be here with me at this time, like that this is the ride that they signed up for and that they are looking for. When I'm in my more contracted states, I can't really anchor myself in that thought.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And also the thought that, well, I feel that we could just be living the normal, really normal life and giving them a no, but what is expected of being normal. But we are here to hopefully we're here to create something new. And that's part of this process that we're going through. And therefore it is going to be for them. I feel like I'm doing it all for them at the end of the day to, yeah, create a world where we're not just living the normal lives and letting all this happen around us, like to create something better. And that also keeps me going too when it's hard.
And I mean, I think a huge motivator for me is to end lineage trauma, like, and to end cycles of gifting trauma to one another through the generations. And so when I come up against like the hurts inside of me that I've been gifted by my lineage, and the behaviors that I then demonstrate, like perpetuate on my children when I'm not at my best and when I'm yelling at them and when I'm like totally out of my own resilience, and that and when I see myself acting in a way that is not who I want to be in this world and not what I want to give on like to them, it is it is the maybe the most motivator for me to look back inside and feel and be like, okay, like how do I uproot that behavior in me, and how do I shift that behavioral pattern that I was gifted and that I don't want to continue, but somehow it's just coming out of me anyway. And so again, like somehow they create the most challenge in this journey, but they are such kids. Like my kids are maybe the biggest catalyst for my change.
Yeah,
Oof.
absolutely.
So my
Mm.
question for you is, how have things been going lately? How's the last?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about what you were saying.
Oh, we can
Yeah, no, no,
touch
no,
on
no,
that for a
but no,
sec too.
no, that's
That was a
fine.
big one.
Yeah, well, I guess all those things have been coming up for me lately too, just on repeat, all those themes. But yeah, it's yeah, living the life of all the different realms. And I just had a group, my Moon IQ group that I had this morning. But on the way there, I was laughing because I was like, I told you before, didn't I? Like when I go for a big, it feels like when I go through something big, like everything falls apart a little bit. The car and the front door and the back door all broken, and like my money is gone funny. But I know that's just a reflection of where I am. It's almost like I'm being pushed onto something new. But so life did get a bit chaotic with that, and I had this moment where I had a session with someone and I came into my body and just thought, how am I even managing this? How am I actually managing what I'm holding together? I just looked at it, I was like, it's impossible. I don't want to be here. What I'm trying to do is impossible, holding all this together. But then with that came like more of a thing, right? I am here in this body and I've got to like manage my physical world better as well as all the other stuff that I'm doing. And so I feel a bit more direction to do that. But so as a result, yesterday I was like, right, I'm going to fix all these things. I just got a job cleaning. So yesterday I was cleaning for like minimum wage, cleaning someone's Airbnb house. And then today I was bringing through the creator's right, which is like remembering these divine beings of light that we are and in this beautiful place and having this amazing. And it was like the contrast just really, yeah, that kind of reflected to me a lot of the things that we were talking about. But that is it. And I was speaking to my friend and just talking about how that is like the dance of being like here in this human world, isn't it? Between the sort of really human things and the really cosmic things. And that's, yeah, this bridge that we're here to kind of mend, I suppose. And obviously, hopefully, I'll get to the point where I'm not having to do cleaning jobs because yeah, but yeah, I don't know. That's where I was today, really. Yeah.
I wonder, so I've been through the last little while a very extreme like breakdown period the last couple weeks, and extreme for me in terms of like I've been having panic attacks, which is like not something
Oh,
that I mean I can count on my hand the number of times that that's happened in my life. So it's an extreme state for me. That's like an extreme state for me.
yeah.
Although I go through times of like very deep depression and like I just very passive kind of I just want to die and just not be here anymore.
Mm,
Like kind of this passive feeling of like I don't want to exist, but this kind of anxiety, like this ramping up anxiety and this kind of panic is not my usual go-to. And so I've been curious about what's going on in the world. And so I feel like you just touched upon a couple things that have been really strong for me lately, which is like just this panic and this like leaving my body, kind of like spiraling up and out of my body in this kind of panicky state of it's too much. Like I just can't, it's just too much. And so I really relate to what you're saying around like this feeling of like there's no way I can manage all the parts of my like there's no way that I can do it. And I was in the shower and I was having this total panic attack and I was like hyperventilating and I was just like kind of screaming at the universe like I need more help. Like I just can't. I just need more help. If you want
mm.
me to stick around any longer, I need more help.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, I relate to that feeling a lot. Oh, goodness. Yeah.
And I just went through a period of like taking on, I just said yes to a whole bunch of work for the last couple of months because I've been really scared about financial, having enough money.
Yeah. Well, you mean
And
your like your normal job work? Yeah.
yeah, like my
Yeah.
like I do consulting in the nonprofit sector, like
Mm.
sitting in front of a computer work
Mhm.
and writing reports work. But I think I just kept taking on more work and doing more work, and I totally burnt myself out. Uh, and I think like the question that I have always is like, where is the balance point of all these things? Like, while I'm feeling the journey that the world is going through so intensely, and there's always this like collective layer that's running through me, like there's my
Mm.
microcosmic like my own piece of the world, like of shifting into the new earth, there's my own piece of it, but then I'm also feeling the collective piece of it that's running through me at the same time. And it feels like no matter how much like energy hygiene work I do, like I try and ground every morning before I get out of bed. Like I just have these, I think over time I almost don't realize, but I have more and more of these little moments in the day when I'm checking in on myself and when I'm grounding and when I'm letting go of energy that's not mine and like I've really I feel really proud that I've like worked at, and integrated a lot of these things to keep myself as well as I can be, I guess.
Mhm.
And I think even with all that and even with ongoing practices, like right now I'm taking another course about like the empowered sensitive, like how to be in an empowered state while you're sensitive. Like even with all this, to be sitting in the shower in a complete state of panic feels like it just feels like, but I'm
Yeah.
doing all my homework. Like I'm doing as much as I can when I can, and still I'm flattened. Like still these tsunamis come and just like totally bowl me over. And so I
Yeah.
just really hit this state of like, nah, I just let me out of here. I don't want to, I'm all done now. That's what kept cycling through my head was like, I'm all done. I'm all done now. I'm all done. No more. Just let me out of this body now, please. It's too
Oh.
much.
Do you still feel like that now? How did it feel after you said that?
I mean, I'm gonna cry because I always cry when I'm with you because I just always feel like I'm able to release when I'm chatting with you. But I I don't know, like I had a really great session with a friend of mine who I'm doing kind of energy work with every couple of weeks, and she's really helped right now. The process is like helping to I feel like I've been on this journey of more embodiment, like the opposite of the spinning out, like the like I think so much of my life I've been really good at dissociating in lots of different ways, whether it was just like, oh, it's not safe to be in my body, I'm just going to go over there, or whether it's like, oh, it's uncomfortable to be in my body today, I'm just going to get
Mhm.
out of here, or
Yeah.
I'm just going to think about it more rather than feel it, or um, so I think a big part of my like the arc of my journey in the last few years has been about like embodiment. Like how do I really step into my power? Having to step into my power means being more present in my body, being more embodied, being more in the now moment. Like all of these things are all kind of connected for me. So she's really helped. She has kind of has gone through, it's like when I connected up with her, it was because I could see I had this vision that she has walked the path that I need to walk. And so she's like ahead of me down the path and she's kind of looking back and showing me, okay, this is how I figured out that leap. And so she's kind of gifting me some of the journeys that she's been through and the templates that she's figured out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really working with my root chakra in terms of coming like getting a new patterning of being grounded in my body, and it right now it feels really weird, like it feels almost like I have a lead weight like in my tailbone, like it feels, and the guides were saying that it's like we're going to make it feel really heavy at first so that you get a sense of it and then it'll kind of and then in my
Oh,
sacral, I'm getting this really, I've been really working with this embodied, a new level of an embodied state of safety. Like safety's always been a really big theme for me of how do
mm.
I, like, what is safety? Is safety possible? Can you be safe in this world? Do I get to be safe? Do my kids get to be safe? Is that even a possibility? And so working with her in the last, like a couple days ago, helped to settle me, but then I kind of spun out again after it. And I don't know, so it's like I feel like I'm really working with this embodied energy, but at the same time I'm like spinning out and then and so
Yeah.
it's I'm kind of in this practice of like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And then
Yeah.
I was asking her like why I was asking her in the guides during the session, like, do you have any insight on why I'm just so freaking exhausted? Like I can barely like I love working out. I love sweating. I love like running around. I love physical exercise. It's always helped me stay grounded and cleaned out my energy. Like it really helped me to, but I can barely do it right now because I'm just so tired. Like walking up and down the stairs makes me tired right now. Like,
Mm.
and the insight was that this like I'm wrestling myself so intensely right now because I'm like I'm trying to get out here, but I'm also trying to be in here. And so I'm like going through this insane, yeah, like she called it like WWF, like wrestling match with myself. And I'm just completely exhausting myself in this internal fight between like the old way of just being like out here and the new way of like being really embodied in my power.
Wow.
So
Yes.
I'm
And when you're saying it, I'm like, well, first of all, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's exactly what how I've been feeling like when I said I came into my body. I was like, it's too much and I'm trying to go out. And yeah, which is like a recurring pattern, but it feels very like now this feels like, I don't know, quite, yeah, important or big or like I don't know, like I'm really learning to like properly anchor and ready to step forward here, but also when you're saying that I'm just hearing like how like you feel everything like for the collective, and I know I do feel that sometimes in that overwhelming feeling, and how it's not necessarily a thing that's wrong, it's part of what we're here to do and all of those stuff. But then when you're talking about that, which I hadn't thought about before, if that's kind of a reflection of what's happening in the world, isn't it? It feels like we're between the old and the new, the old and the new, and like that's what's happening in the world, all the tension and anger and all the different things. It's almost like, yeah, we're kind of experiencing that as well within ourselves, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
definitely, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah.
It's quite a lot. And
Mm.
yesterday I was going through this panic. I went to my friend's a friend of mine who is very much like you, like we could be sitting here, the three of us having this conversation, and but I saw her, she was 67 and she died last year. And maybe she died this year, just a couple months ago. Anyway, but I was going to her celebration of life yesterday and I
Oh,
went into like this full panic attack just trying to get there, like just trying to get in the car. And it was like an hour away and I was going to be late and like there was all this stuff. And I just kept hearing, like, as I was like losing my shit, just like couldn't function. I was like, I have to feed myself and get like it's really simple things that I could not perform for myself at that moment. I just kept hearing this message that and it's funny, my ego, I'm like, is this too egoic to say? I just kept hearing this message that uh, this is really hard stuff that we're working through, and they just said like, not all souls are brave enough to go through this, and not all souls are like strong enough to withstand it, to make it through this phase, this time. And my reaction to that is like a couple of different things. Like I'm like tearing up. So it's really feels in my heart, but
mm,
it's really helpful on one hand because I feel like they keep trying to, like my guides, whatever it is, trying to tell me like, yes, it's hard and it's okay and you're doing it and you can do it. And just like this acknowledgement that it's really hard. And that acknowledgement is really helpful because I'm just like, oh, I'm failing at these seemingly really simple things, but it's like it's not about feeding myself and getting in the car. It's about like what's this huge turmoil that's going on inside of me while I'm trying to function.
exactly. Yeah. And you're
But
still
then
managing to,
yeah, and then
yeah.
the other side of me is like worried that think that I'm therefore like better than people, or that I'm more, you know, oh, I'm more evolved than some people, or it's like a double-edged thing for me. I find that kind of messaging.
Yeah. But then if you think about it, like say, yeah, say that's your role here and you've agreed to do the maximum that you possibly could. And I can see like sometimes I think about I can imagine myself if I was signing up going, oh yeah, push me to my limits, I'll do all that I can to the very edge, like and regretting that. But also like there'll be others like if everyone was doing that, then this world would not work. Like we all have our different things,
Roles to
don't
play.
we? And this
Yeah.
particular role or whatever that we seem to be have agreed to, like that's what we're doing, and everyone needs to do different things to make it work, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely have seen and experienced myself as this, and again, like I don't like this term so much, but like this spiritual warrior. Like sometimes it is really helpful for me to think of myself as like on the battlefield and like I just have to get up and go again. I just have to get up. Oh, I got knocked back down. I have to get up and try. Like I have to. And
Yeah.
like there's problematic things with that image, but it's what that's part of what feels true for me is like I really feel like I have to be a warrior and I have to when I think I can't go on, I have to like dig in and figure out how to get up again and pick up the sword of my power and like try the next gauntlet, like I don't know if it feels like that for
Yeah,
you.
it absolutely feels like that for me. Yeah, definitely. And the same, it's hard to, it's that's like, I guess why it's helpful because it's hard to say that, but I can absolutely say it for you and see it in you. But
And
like,
I can
that's
say it for
like you said about
you,
the
so I'll say it
ego.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that does help to see it like that, doesn't it? It really does help. Yeah. And looking back, like if I'm looking back on your journey, and yeah, all that you have done and all the times you haven't given up and kept going and just wow, like it is like yeah, it is just really important to reflect on it and be like, oh my goodness. And yeah, I haven't failed because I can't get the kids to swimming lessons one day or whatever. Look at the extent of everything else and how well we're managing in this world with everything else. We're actually doing it, and that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I know. Mine is like, oh my God, I'm feeding my kids like microwave or like oven frozen pizza again for dinner tonight. Like, oh my God, I'm failing the world hard. It's like they love pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all those things. And I just wanna, yeah, and that's important to me. Like I want to provide this really, I want to provide what's important and good food and a good stable mum and base and everything like that. I do really want to be able to do that. And but yeah, I think we're also learning to do all these things that we've been doing. And maybe that's it now, like coming more into our bodies. We're gonna, yeah, be able to manage it all. But I think like because I always think like sometimes when people talk about like I might have said this before, like, I'll be in your body, be in your body. But I was like, no, I think I've been needing to go off. Like, the shamans, they would go off and then come back into body, go off because they're bringing wisdom through and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like that now, almost like on an extended period for the last few years. I feel like I've had to be more in the other realms than I have been here because I've been needing to bring something through. And therefore, I haven't been able to hold it together as well as I could, but I have held it together and, like, yeah, done exactly as much as I needed to do to keep things going. And now I feel like maybe I can come back in more, and that's why I'm focused more on the physical and be both better, maybe. Like there's nothing wrong with us. We've actually done really well. That kind of frame, like you said, I don't know.
There's
Hello.
nothing wrong with us. We've actually done really
Yeah.
well. That should be the title. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
We've actually done really well.
Yeah.
Don't, oh, my cat's finding out that there's a candle lit on my table.
Okay.
You don't want to play with that.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that feels better, doesn't it?
I think that's really interesting, this concept of like, though I feel that I'm being called into deeper and deeper embodiment, and the more that I embody, the more that I'm able to kind of access and wield my personal power, which is something I have a lot of fear around. But there's also that side of which is like, yes, and we've needed to wander off into the realms, the multidimensional spaces to kind of rediscover. Like I feel like there's been this rediscovering and this reawakening and all these journeys that have been so important. But I'm also, and I agree, I totally agree, and I honor all the paths that we've walked to get to here, and I believe that there's a place for all of it. And I'm also curious about this new feeling of like the more that I'm grounded and embodied, well, my kind of spiritual friend was saying this. She's like, it's almost like the more that we are grounded and embodied, the more like almost like spiritual load we're able to carry and bring through.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. but I think like, but I don't know if this is true, but the feeling, and that, like I said to you, this is what I got from that very first session when we did the swap review about being like having to have the anchors,
Right.
having to have the anchors stay in the world, and also not being able to body all of, like when we're talking about safety, like that's what I think it hasn't necessarily been safe to embody all of us here on the earth until now, because the earth's been going through these shifts, hasn't it? And so that's another thing of thinking, yeah, now there's been like the earth can hold us, we can hold it, our bodies can hold it because of all the work we've been doing. So now is the time, yeah, to bring more of us, be more grounded, to bring more of us through here. Exactly, and be grounded and expand, be grounded, expand here on the
Yes.
earth, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're so right. I think that for me, and I like in the last session, I just this past week, like what's really come through for me is the connection between being grounded and safety,
Mm,
and that I can't fully embody safety without being grounded, and I can't be grounded wuthout safety. Like I
yeah.
think you really named something that is very present for me right now. And like I'm being invited, gifted, I don't know what it is, but like physically feeling this center in my body of physically feeling like what grounded feels like, and physically feeling what safety feels like, and the connection between the two of them in a way that it's very new to me. It's very
Mm,
foreign to me. Like it's these sensations in my body and this kind of energetic experience that feels totally new. That's like, oh, this isn't familiar to me at all.
yeah. Oh yeah, and so then you're like, and then you're like, oh, am I really safe? Because I haven't been safe for so long. And then that's the panic and things, and that's part of the journey to coming back. And yeah, and it's like, yeah, that's big, isn't it? That's so big.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think the more that I am able to embody safety, yeah, I think exactly what you're saying. Like every new stage of that, there's almost like this panic, this it's almost like looking back and being like, oh my God, I cannot believe how unsafe I was. Like, oh my God, I cannot believe how vulnerable I was in the world. Or like
Mm,
it's almost like every new level of, yeah, every new level, there's this kind of mourning, or like being able to unpack, or being able to react to, or like finally being able to actually feel. It's like, oh, now I'm safe enough to process how unsafe I was back there. And
yeah.
now I have to process all of that through me, of like the fear and the sadness and the scared and the like shakiness. And so it's this very weird back and forth of like, oh, I'm more safe. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
You're like, well, that
Oh,
should be
yeah,
the opposite. It should be like, oh, I feel so relaxed now that I'm safer. But it's actually like, holy crap, I can't believe how.
yeah.
And I think for me, it's with my kids too, because part of the thing that keeps me going is as I achieve new levels of safety, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm able to give my kids this new level of safety. And then I go through this whole other layer of like guilt and overwhelm of like, oh my God, I cannot believe how little safety I've been able to give them because I just
Mm,
didn't have it to give. And I carry like quite a big burden that I'm trying, like every time I touch on it, I try and like let it go, but I carry a big burden of not being able to offer them a safety when they were younger because I just didn't have it to give. I find
mm,
that one of the most challenging feelings for me is like this regret about damage they may have experienced early on in life because I wasn't able to give them what I can now.
yeah. But you're wonderful. You're a wonderful mom. Yeah,
You
but I
too.
know. the guilt and yeah,
The guilt
yeah,
is really big. Yeah. So I feel like we should wrap it up. What do you think?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's wrap it up. Oh yeah, but
Okay.
yeah,
How do we want to wrap it up today?
yeah, but yeah, it's been
I've been playing with this little alien dude.
oh, oh, he's a stressful alien dude.
Yeah, he's like a little stressful alien dude.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I'm gonna press stop now. But so yeah, we'll
Well,
just
I just wondered if we have like a
oh,
final thought for
oh yeah,
before we stop.
final thought. There's nothing wrong with you. What did we say? What were we gonna
Oh yeah, there was a good one in there. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess what's my takeaway for today? My takeaway is like, I think my takeaway right now is that for whatever reason, something really quaky is going on in the collective, something really intense, and I'm feeling the panic of that through my system. And I know some of that is mine, but I know some of that is the collective. I think one desire I have for just this and putting this out in the world is like sending out love and fellowship to those who are really feeling that quake and like wanting wanting other people who are feeling the quakiness and feeling the difficulty of this time to know that they are not alone, and there's a lot of us that are walking together even though we might not see each other or be together physically. That's my desire.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. Yeah, and that was exactly why we wanted to do this, wasn't it? So that yeah, people didn't feel alone. And yeah, you're right. We meet together because we're feeling things often at the same time because they're collective things. And so by sharing it, it helps to people know they're not alone. And yeah, definitely. So I'm sending lots of love to everybody too, and to you. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.